1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's either this one or Sarasota.
Mike, are you still in there?
Mike Iglio?
Yeah, I was supposed to call him. He's testing the
Maybe
equipment.
right in the bathroom.
Are you gonna join? Are you gonna guest at our meeting at 1:30? I'd love you to be there.
All right, I think I will.
I can use all the ambassadors for the Smedley that I can. You haven't had. You have visited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a member, an original member. You were almost a member. You never joined.
Then I realized this is not going to work too well with this area director thing that I got.
Oh.
All these broken clocks.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I didn't need my time for all those broken clocks.
Okay, well, attend today because we can use all the faces we can get.
I'll be a face for that.
Thank you.
Were you going for training or something?
Well, yeah, I did my session, but I'm not staying didn't plan to stay for the pathways thing. I gotta get home.
Oh,
I guess Yep.
I'm gonna wrap some card real quick.
Hello.
Hi, Laurean.
Hey.
Good, thank you.
That's what I should find out.
No, you're all set.
Do you wish to come announce to the group
Okay, I
that
hear
the
you.
meeting is
Great.
available? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you wish to come announce to the group that the meeting is available?
Okay, I apparently have to. I'm on mute somehow, so I can speak. I don't know if you can hear me the way this is working.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, good. So it looks like
Anyway.
we're working then.
Yeah.
You sound wonderful.
Okay.
You sound crystal clear. You're talking right into the microphone?
I am.
Yeah, you sound wonderful.
All right. So would you like for me to go announce to the group that the meeting is available?
No, I'm going to go in there. I'm just grabbing you the power
Okay.
cord for your phone.
All right. Well, they were
And I'm
we were
coming
almost
right
ready.
back in. All right. I'm
Okay.
walking faster. Okay.
All right. Good luck. Bye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is NPR. Good afternoon.
How soon do you have to sign in or like how many minutes?
You can sign in pretty much right when the meeting starts. It's not that, yeah. We like to do it 15 minutes early so we can check out the sound and the picture, yeah. Is it going to fit in there? Oh, there we go.
Information on the Zoom session.
Correct.
I thought they had something, I can't attend, but they said they had a handout we could grab.
There's on the bottom there, yes.
The tables like this?
I moved this one's closer together so that we can actually get everybody in the shot.
Okay. Well, I had set
Yes.
the camera here.
Thanks.
I was gonna put mine on over here.
Okay. Let me get mine over here. So mine, yeah, it's mine. How are you? Hi.
Can we join with the Wi-Fi here?
I did.
Super Punch?
No, it's the one student something.
Are you a student? You have password though?
Yeah. It was on the TV out front, so I copied it down. Those are
Oh, wow.
a combination of lower and uppercase there.
Wi-Fi. Capital K, capital U.
Yes.
Battery draining again.
Mm-hmm.
Nine seven 715
997, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many times you get him on it yet? Twice. Or twice? Well, we don't count.
Or did you log in, you give us the login information?
Yeah, we send you a link.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you, I'll discuss all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? That's it. I know we got other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really skittish about the place. I'm like, oh, man.
I live
Going
over
to the
there.
airport in general.
I live over in that area, so it's
Visible, but.
also you can
will
travel,
love
you
it.
don't have to stay.
You don't even,
But it's good to stay.
Yeah.
It's
you will
good to
love
stay.
it because you don't stay away because you have to.
All's joined.
And then you get to see the planes go in and out, they go up and down.
Right.
And you don't have to get plane driver, and you don't have to get sad with the security. You go to the hotel park. And you go to the hotel.
Once you go, if it's like you're saying, you never stop it. When I went, the first time I went, I got hooked.
Yeah.
Because then it got kind of.
Yeah, dull.
The workshop was great. But
Yeah.
then after- this is in Marriott.
Yeah. Yeah.
Airport.
Yeah.
One
At the
night
airport.
for 3 nights, so.
That's the one that got revolving.
Yeah.
I've been in the hospital when I was married.
And then it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
You have to go through airport security, of course, once you get on a plane, which you're not.
So you haven't been to a conference yet. So you'll be able to participate in all the first timer stuff, and they've got some amazing things planned. If you've never been to a conference before,
Oh my
yeah,
God, you
they've got some really, really cool stuff planned. Yeah, they're getting their own version of a DTM champagne party. So they get their own champagne toast because that's how Toastmaster started, with champagne toasts. So we're giving them a champagne toast. Yeah. Yeah, so that's their reception on Friday. And then on Saturday, well, we have the rest of the Toastmasters networking. We're putting them in their own speed networking environment. And then they're going to check up because we're going to make posters that they fill out throughout the weekend. So we'll check in with their posters. And then Sunday, they have their own special wrap up. Yeah. Again, pull up the posters and then wrap it up. And you can join online?
I think that's what we're gonna.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Did you get a flyer too? The online instructions are at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do mic handling for a few minutes, and then in person is in Trinity, Odessa. So if you're a presenter or the table topics or Toastmaster and you want to work on mic handling, then you can shoot on up there for the meeting. Now the meetings are 2 hours. You shoot on up there, and then we always do post-toasty, so it's a full day. It's a full day. So you go up there to do that. But if you don't need the mic handling practice that day, you just join from home. Most of our functionaries join from home. Okay, bye. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're waiting for some other people. We're still waiting for our Toastmaster of the day to join. We've got quite a few people that have not called in. Normally we meet at 10:30, so 1:30 is a new time for us. So we'll just give them a few more minutes. So let's talk about mic handling for a few minutes. So in the order of Smedley, if you're in the room, you're required when you're speaking, whether from the seat or from the front of the room, you use a mic. Now, speakers, assigned speakers, manual speeches, and Toastmasters were the lavaliers. Everybody else uses the handheld, so you get to use two. So you get to practice with both. In this this is the system that does all of our microphoning. So in the room, we have two of these, and we have two of these. That way the speaker and the Toastmaster can both be mic'd and ready to go. And then we have two microphones that we can rotate. Now, only one microphone can work at a time, but this manages that for us. All right, so that's the quantity of what we have. So we have a lot going on. We put a lot of investment. Our club dues were really high the past couple of years to pay. The club owns all this equipment. So this all belongs to the suitcase, which is in the care of the SAA. So this all belongs. We have the reason is because we meet at the hospital in Trinity, and there have been times we've had to leave the hospital because their electricity runs out, which has happened. Power to the podium goes out. Things happen. We have to pick up and leave and meet in a different location. So we have an alternate location 2 blocks up. Mike and I pack it up. We're up the street. We're up and running within 10 minutes. So we don't miss a beat. Or we just say, okay, no one in room today. Everyone get on your phones. We're just on the phones because the room is not available. All right. So we're going to have 2 locations. We're going to start alternating between Trinity in Clearwater. So we'll have two in-room locations to make it more convenient to other people. All right, for the in-room experience. So let's talk about the microphones. So when it comes to the handhelds, the one thing you want to know about handhelds is, one, if you're in the room, you always have to be speaking into a microphone, or the people on there can't hear you. They don't know that you're saying anything, so whatever you're saying is only of value to yourself because they can't hear you. All right, so think of you as not as being on mute until you have one of these. Okay, so this will just get passed around the room. Second, when you speak into the microphone, you must be very intimate with it. And when I mean intimate, I don't mean, oh, this is a nice microphone, I'll talk into the mic right now. This is a nice microphone. No, intimate. Get very close with the mic. Microphones are designed to only pick up sound from about this far away. When they're further than that, they're designed not to pick up the sound. All microphones.
Ice cream cone
So-
microphone. This was something.
Yeah, so ice cream cone. It's an ice cream cone. You want to lick your ice cream cone. Well, don't lick the damn mic, but you certainly kiss it. Okay. You want to get close. Some people say keep it on your chin. So there's some people that keep it on the chin just to keep it close. So it's your choice how close you want to keep it. But the point is to keep it very intimately close. All right. You want to be close to your microphone. All right. So that's mic handling. Now in Toastmasters, if we have people in the room, why don't you come up front, Angelita? And we want, you know, in Toastmasters, we like to shake hands with each other. And I'm talking on the microphone. She's coming out. I got to shake her hand. There's something in my hand. So in Toastmasters, we do something a little bit different. We do a toss and a shake. A toss and a shake. Okay, thank you. That way we keep the Toastmaster tradition of shaking, because most of us hold it in our right hand and we shake it. It's like, oh, how am I going to shake your hand? Well, you toss it and you shake. So that removes an awkward moment. So if you're on stage and you're doing this and you're talking, look how practiced I am. And you practice in here. So when you're on the stage and you're doing it live, say for your company or something, like, ha, 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 ha. So you look really, really awesome and cool. All right. If you're remote and we don't have a handshake. Well, I can't shake anyone's hand. We just do a little fist bump. And we pass off to the next person. So we just kind of fist bump the mic and then I go and take my seat. So we'll have a remote Toastmaster. So I'll come finish speaking, I'll fist bump him and then I'll go and sit down. So there's a lot of things online. Can the online people hear me? I can't hear anybody online. I see Dianelli logged in. I can't hear her. I have no volume from Daniele. Okay. Is there anybody else online? Is there anybody else online in this orientation part that I can hear? We still got about 7 minutes to go. All right. So we normally orientate our online guests as well with the fist bump, hand shake. That's how we do it. So let's say you have a remote person that's topicking, and the table topics master is also remote. They just fist bump each other. So if you have two remote people that have to hand off, you just fist bump each other, and that shows the handoff. It's a high five. Yes, it's the handshake, but it's just remote. Yeah. If you can hear me in your remote, also a way to show applause is you just do this. That shows applause. This is remote applause. Some people like to draw happy faces and sad faces on their thumb and hold them up to the camera on the thing. So we see the little happy faces. All right, so that's interesting as well. All right, so let's talk about the lavalier. So the lavalier, when you're using it for the first time, now nobody in here will be because you're all guests, so you'll all get to use this, which we just talked about. If you're using the lavalier, you certainly want to be hooked up. Since we have two, you can always hook up early. Okay, Mike and I learned, they mentioned that in there the hard way. No earrings, ladies. So I had to remind myself to take them off because I saw him and I felt my earring. I went, oh no, I'm going to get yelled at. I better take off my earrings. They do interfere. They interfere with the cables. They interfere with the boom. They interfere. So if you're on the speaker stage and if you're gonna be on a speaker stage, you know you're gonna be lavaliered up, wear studs. Wear studs. Yeah, so studs are okay. It's the dangly ones that can hit the boom that are the problem. Of what? Oh, well, wherever you speak, you'll be provided your microphone, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Kathy, hi, Kathy.
Hello, how's everyone?
Good. Show me the virtual fist bump. I was demonstrating that earlier.
Woo!
Is this camera working? This camera? Yeah, it's working. Yeah, I'm just getting an error on it. Yeah, so that's how we fist bump remotely. So this is Kathy. She is our online. So I'll make another. Since we got a couple minutes, I'll make another introduction. Kathy, well, Mike is in our VP of IT role. We created an officer role for technology because there's a lot of technology separate from the SAA. Now, Mike runs all this technology for us. He's VP of IT, doesn't count toward our full circle pin, although I think it should because we have an officer who's bedridden and we have a new officer, so we should still get credit. So he's VP of IT. He also does the online moderation. His primary officer role goal is to ensure a positive experience for the online members. So while the Toastmaster or whoever's running the room is responsible for the in-room experience, his sole goal is to focus on the online experience. So he'll be managing the Zoom chat box, but not today, because today, according to our agenda, Kathy, this beautiful lady right here, is our online moderator. So we have a meeting role called online moderator, who reports to the to the VP of IT. So she's gone through a mentoring program under Michael to learn about all this. So she's his second in command, and they rotate who does the online moderation. So Kathy will be online moderating today. She's fresh from vacation. Doesn't she look beautiful? She looks so refreshed. But she has no energy. She couldn't come in person. She has no energy left. She goes, I think I could do this from my chair.
I was actually not on vacation. I was actually at a 2-day conference and then drove back and got back at 12:30 at night. So, I'm tired.
Yeah. So she'll be online moderating today. No. So I'm glad you brought that up. Another thing we do differently, and we got a couple more minutes before Jean-Paul will show up and bring us in. Another thing we do differently in here is our evaluations. So we have an evaluator for my speech today, my 15-minute speech. And then when we do table topics, my evaluator will also evaluate every table topics person. So all table topics are available. Just a quick 1-minute evaluation from the perspective of, is that contest worthy? Is that worthy of winning an area or district conference? No, that would suck. Try it again. Well, what's amazing about it is sometimes if we only have one speaker and we have a lot of time, we'll do table topics twice. And there is where you can see like what you experience in level 1, 2, the evaluation 1, level 2. You will see, no matter how long you've been in Toastmasters, you give a table topic, you get an evaluation, right? Everyone goes around again. You give another table topic, you can immediately see the improvement. It shocks me all the time, the immediacy of incorporating that feedback. All right, so we got 1 more minute. Where's our online topics master, or Toastmaster? We're waiting for John Paul. And we're waiting for our timer. It says 8 others. Jean Paul, are you out there? Beverly Plant, are you out there? Parveen Vahora, where are you? Parveen's supposed to be in person. I don't know what that 8 means. I thought it said 8 others. So we're waiting. Our topics master, he's connecting.
It says from here, 7 participants logged into Zoom.
Okay. Well, okay. So our Toastmaster is Jean Paul. He's logging in from the airport.
Maybe he's
We'll
had-
give him a couple more minutes because he planned a really nice opening for today. So we're going to do a shortened version of our club today, just kind of like how the Smedley works. So we'll have table topics. You guys can all participate. You all get... Michael, you're prepared for your table topics, right?
Just a point of notice, Laurean, if you're asking the audience to give answers to your questions, they're going to need mics so that
Yeah, we got them.
can hear. Okay,
We got them.
we just got.
We just went through the orientation.
Okay.
The other thing we do is we mark the floor so we stay in contact in full view of the speaker camera. Usually we have masking tape, but that's the other thing is if you come to the front, if you're doing table topics, be mindful of the marking. So if you stay between here, this is the camera for the speaker, and all the way over to there, you're in camera view. But in the other room, we usually mark it off because we usually have the camera much closer at a different angle. But that's what it's for. So just abide by the edge of the stage. Don't fall off the stage. I don't have a phone. Kathy, can you text Jean-Paul? My phone's on the tripod.
I can certainly see if I can accomplish that. Happy to.
That's cute. I love it. This is our club coach, Kelly. She coordinated for us to be here today. She's our new club coach, and she goes, "How can I help you?" It's like, "I don't know how to use a club coach right now. I know you too well. I've known her for years." And she goes, "Well, I heard about this thing going on that our advanced articulators do." I said, "Okay, that'd be great if you can make that happen for us too." She goes, "Well, why don't you just do it?" It's like, no. You make it happen, club coach, and I'll do my part. And so she did. So within a day, she had us all set up to be in here. Oh, Parveen, you're so sweet. The benefit of being in room is you get fed by Parveen. Parveen is our SAA. We're waiting on Jean-Paul. He's our Toastmaster. He hasn't arrived yet. She's coming back. Yeah. Yeah, she's our general evaluator, so we don't need her till later. But yeah, put the posters in here. Still waiting on. So we can't start the meeting without our Toastmaster.
I'm trying to do it. I believe it or not, I didn't have his number in my phone, so I'm looking him up.
I'm so hot. I'm going to take this off. It doesn't look very nice, but I've been running all day.
Is Beverly on?
Not yet.
I'll see if I can reach her.
Yep, and Jeanette's on her way. So Beverly and Jean-Paul are the only ones missing. And we really can't start without Jean-Paul.
Okay.
Usually he's early. I know he's traveling.
On my
Thank you for being here. Yeah, we're going to stop at 2:30. We're doing a short meeting today. So you'll be able to see my speech. You'll miss table topics, but you'll get to see my speech. I could have flipped them around and did table topics first and then my speech. Yeah, so the reason Toastmasters the Smedley meeting is so long is we have a lot of people working on advanced speeches or speeches in the public.
join.
Like Kathy speaks for her work, I speak for my work, Kelly speaks for her work, Parveen gets paid to travel the country to speak for her work. So we're all in outside Toastmaster speaking roles, the majority of us. And so we use this as an opportunity to practice our speeches. So we'll say, oh, Kelly will say, okay, I'm doing this at the Realtor Association. It's a 30-minute speech, but I'm really struggling with this section or the opening. So I'm going to do the first 10, 15 minutes of the opening. And so that she'll go on the agenda for practicing that. And so she'll go, or she'll say, which we have done many times, she'll go, I really want to focus on that very beginning, the 5-minute opening. So I'm going to do my 5-minute opening. I want evaluation. And then I'm going to do it again. Or she'll say, I want to do the 10 minutes, but I want on the spot coaching. So she'll be up here speaking, and her evaluator is the only one who's allowed to interrupt her and correct her as she's speaking, and she gets to keep going. Yeah, because we found that evaluations are useful, but they're not useful unless they're immediately applied. So if someone comes up and gives you an evaluation, you're like, oh, the hell with it, you go home, right? But it's really impactful when you can apply it immediately, ingrain it into who you are, and keep on going. John Paul, where are you? John Paul, we miss you. We're going to have to start without him. Nick, do you have a desire to be Toastmaster? No. Beverly is our timer. She hasn't joined yet. Every role can be done online. She's got colors. She's got these file folders that she uses, and she just fills up her entire screen. So in our normal room, we have a camera, a screen back there and a screen right here. So when you're speaking, and we usually have a camera set up there. We usually have 3 cameras, but we don't. So if we don't have a screen, we put a camera back there, and we lock it to her screen. So that way when you're speaking, you see the colors. Yeah. Yeah, there's another setup over there, but maybe Parveen can hook her camera up and plug it in. Yeah, it's logged into Zoom on its own. I can take that and go finish the meeting from my car.
I got him on the phone and he says he's been trying to log in. I've confirmed the number, so hopefully there he is. Yay!
There he is. That's our Toastmaster of the day.
We
All right,
can't hear you,
Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul.
Okay, so shortly Beverly should be joining us too. She's our timer. So we're going to go ahead and turn the meeting over to Jean-Paul. Jean-Paul, did you get the new agenda?
Let's make sure he's.
We can't hear you. He's on mute. Okay.
I chatted him.
Okay,
there we go.
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now I just want to make sure I can see myself. Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready. Do I have to start? Has it already been handed over to the Toastmaster of the day?
The SAA.
Okay.
Hold on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Order of Smedley. And I'm happy to welcome everyone to this new location, as well as our online people. Kathy, John Paul, Beverly's going to join us. And then the rest.
No, Beverly is unable to join us.
Oh, then we need a timer.
Then anyone volunteering to be a timer?
Okay.
James is going to be our timer.
Great.
John Paul, James is going to be your timer in the room.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll get those timing cards to you. And with that, I'm going to send it over to our Toastmaster, John Paul.
Yes. Greetings from the Greater New York area. I am here at, if you can see where I am, I'm at the Emma S. Clark Memorial Library, the heart of Free Village community on Long Island. So I'm about 2 hours east of New York City. 2 hours east of where I live in Manhattan, but greetings from the north to everybody who is meeting in Florida. Today is a beautiful day here. And even if it wasn't, Toastmasters will make us enjoy the day anyway. So very welcome to everybody attending today, and very welcome to all the guests. Have the guests already been introduced before I joined?
No,
Okay, so I think the guests are all in the room. Laurean, can you take us through the guests? Ask the guests to introduce themselves, please.
Sure, they just started passing the microphone, so why don't you go ahead and start?
Okay,
Michelle Burgess.
and Michelle, could each guest tell us what club they're from and how long they've been a Toastmaster?
Michelle Burgess from Spirited Toastmasters in Riverview, Florida. And 2 years.
Okay.
welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Ann Norton from the Talk of 5508 Toastmasters Club in Tampa, Florida. I have been, for the second time around, Toastmaster for 4 years with this particular club. But years and years ago, I was a Toastmaster for a corporate company, where I got my start was USAA. So I'm happy to be here. And this is interesting.
Thank you, Jerry Ann.
Good afternoon. My name is Angelita Ortiz. I'm from Power Speaker of Manatee County Government, and I've been with Toastmasters for 7 years.
Okay, welcome, Angelita.
And slightly out of the screen, my name is Nick Angelo. I'm a member of both the Big Wheels Club and the 912 Toastmasters. And I've been a member since October 2016.
Okay,
Hi,
thanks.
my name is James Doherty. I'm a member of the Downtown St. Pete Toastmasters Club in St. Petersburg, Florida. I've been a member since August 2018.
Isn't that Jeanette's other club?
That's not yet. So
Oh. Oh, yeah.
What was James' last name?
Doherty.
Darty.
Oh,
Welcome.
I should pass the guest book.
I'm Kelly Harden. I am a member of Trinity Odessa Toastmasters. I've been a Toastmaster for 2.5 years now.
Kelly, is your name Kelly?
Yes.
And then
Hold the mic closer, Kelly.
Oh, Kelly Harden,
Kelly, okay.
your new club
typical
coach.
1 to 2. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, those usually go really fast.
Okay.
And my evaluator is the same. She
Is that everyone?
Nick Angelo.
Did we hear from Mike?
That was all the guests who have introduced themselves. So, Sean Paul, back to you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I feel very honored to have so many guests here, and I hope that many of you will consider joining. People in the room can give you more background. We meet twice a month on Saturday mornings, normally a little bit earlier, so you have a lot more free time than afterwards, once we're done, to go on your merry way to do what you have to do on a Saturday. But first, twice a month, you'll get to grow and enjoy with the Order of Smedley. Today's word of the day is versatile. And I think we all have to be very versatile in life, and also Toastmasters. In real life, we often have to do video conferences, and this is a way to practice that.
Okay, that's fine. I'll get up, get one.
Like in a normal Toastmasters meeting, we have different roles. And I'd like to introduce the different roles. Our timer, James, can you tell us what
No,
a
no,
timer
no.
does?
We don't do that at the order of Smedley. You just identify who they are.
Okay, all right. So James, you are the James, you
Yeah, you
are
can't.
the
You just know who they.
timer.
You just know.
Okay, James, you are the timer. And I'm opening up the agenda.
And I'm the odd counter, Laurean. The grammarian is Jeanette, who is running late, but Jean-Paul gave us our word of the day. Jeanette will also be our general evaluator. And then Parveen is the speech evaluator and the table topics evaluator. So she'll give every table topics a quick 30-second evaluation.
Jean-Paul, this is Mike. We also have a couple of online guests. If you want to introduce them, that would be, if I can pronounce this right, Dianalee and Danny. So Dianalee, could you unmute yourself and introduce briefly? Or perhaps I can unmute you. Let's see.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay, hello, my name is Dianelli Agudelo.
That's why we have an online moderator.
Thank you. Cigar City Toastmasters down in Ybor City. And this is an interesting club. I was happy to find it. Online and Zoom works very well for me. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
That's wonderful. And that is also, Dianelli, you are also in the greater Tampa area or in Florida?
Yeah, that's right. I'm in Tampa. Actually, driving to Tampa from the Clearwater leadership training.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you could join in person then as well, or virtually, as some people do. Thank you.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And
We
then
would
Danny?
encourage you to keep your eyes on the road.
Yes, good afternoon. Name is Danny Grubb. I also attended the TLI this morning, and I wanted to quickly evaluate this session to see how technology is being used in this particular club. And I'll be dropping off after the first speaker. So one of the reasons I was not able to volunteer to participate fully in this meeting, but thank you for having me.
Danny, what club do you belong to?
Yes, I belong to Skyway Marina in St. Petersburg. I'm actually in my car as well. I'm closer to the Skyway Bridge as we speak. And again, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. So wonderful. Welcome all the guests. And for those, if you happen to bump into people who are interested in joining another club and another advanced club, tell them about the Order of Smedley and the versatile way in which we encourage participation. Okay. Now, I'd like to start just with reminding us all what the mission is of a Toastmasters club and the Toastmasters meeting in particular, that it provides a safe space for people. We give each other a space to grow, and for feedback. So we are open for that. And I'm happy to say that in all the clubs that I've attended, that's been the spirit, that's been the atmosphere, and it's no different here in the Order of Smedley. So somebody who prepared a speech and is open for feedback, open to growth, is our first speaker. And Laurean, I had written to you, but I don't think I'd seen the title and project. If you could also give us that information at the start of your speech. So,
yes. So Freeman asked me this week to do this particular speech for today for our demo meeting. It's the good, better, best evaluation. So since we're going into contest season on evaluations, at STAR last week I gave this speech and he asked me to do it today, which is how to give a really good evaluation using the good, better, best method. And I have handouts for that, and the handouts are also on the meeting page on the website.
Wonderful.
So if you're remote, you can access that by going to the orderofsmedley.org and clicking on today's meeting, and the agenda and the handouts are already there.
Wonderful. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Laurean with good, better, best. Good, better, best. Laurean with a up to 12 to 15 minute speech. 12 to 15 minute speech, James, the timer. Laurean.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I have won an area and club evaluation contest and have placed second place at division several times. But I just can't win that popularity contest. I'm going to teach you how I've done it. When I first learned about the evaluation contest, I didn't know differently. So I did what I always do. I studied really hard about how to give a really good evaluation. I started by studying the best speakers and Toastmasters because they were all on YouTube. All the international winners are on YouTube. So I studied them. I studied other people that teach about giving Toastmaster evaluations. And then I came up with my method that works for me really, really well. And so I'm going to teach that to you today. So I'm going to walk you through how to prepare an evaluation and how to give an evaluation. And both are completely different. I want to point out to you a very critical thing, and I'm glad Nick is here because he can shake his head at this, is that a written evaluation on a pathways form is different than a verbal evaluation in the club. And what is so different about it? This is what's different, and they both have their role and their purpose. A written evaluation is for the sole purpose of communicating intimately and directly from the evaluator to the speaker. It's your own love note. No one else is going to see it. Oftentimes, they don't even read it. But it is your way of communicating thoughts and information privately and directly for consumption later to a speaker. Okay, and its sole beneficiary is the speaker. A verbal evaluation in a club environment is for the sole benefit of the entire room. You might be giving Kelly her own, I'm stepping off the stage, her own evaluation, and I may only be talking to Kelly, but everybody else is hearing me. And everybody else saw Kelly and has their own ideas about Kelly, but now they're hearing what I thought and go, man, she picked up on that? Or she's just full of hogwash. But the whole room benefits from that. You see the difference? So there's two types of evaluations in Toastmasters. There's the written one and there's the verbal one. But what do they have in common? One of my most favorite things that I love most about Toastmasters, because I'm all about self-improvement. It's the single biggest way to give your heart to another Toastmaster. It's the biggest gift you can give. Why is that? Because as an evaluator, you have to be completely and totally focused on what Michelle is saying. Nothing else can interfere. You have to be completely focused on what Michelle is doing. And then you have to be in tune with your observations and find a way to give that back so that she can grow. Now, someone asked me after the last time I did this, why I'm so passionate about good evaluations. Because I'm so passionate about being better myself as a human being. And when I first started in Toastmasters, I was getting fluffy evaluations. I'm sorry, fluffy evaluations piss me off. Don't make me feel good about converting oxygen to carbon dioxide. I know I can do that. Tell me how to be better. Tell me how to be better. That's what I want to know. What did I do? How did my demeanor, because I know I'm really outgoing, really put you off? How did my voice that carries way further than I ever wish it would irritated the heck out of you? How did my appearance really upset you with what I was doing? Or how did I just inspire you to go show your husband some love today? How did I show up in your heart and in your life? And share that back with me. You can put that in the written note, or you can share that with the world, your choice. But that's what I love most about evaluations. It's the single biggest way to make a direct contribution by sharing your heart with someone else. And both people get to grow out of that, because it takes a lot to take it out of you, to give that away, because that's scary. They may not like it. They may not appreciate it. There have been evaluators that I wouldn't talk to for a couple weeks because it really upset me. But at the end of the day, it's a love language. Okay, and that's what makes Toastmasters amazing, is we get to do this together. And what better place to do this than in the safe confines of Toastmasters? We're supposed to be practicing and doing this anyway, before we go and put all this negative stuff on the unsuspecting world. So get better in here so you can be awesome out there. And this is how we give and take. So that's why evaluations are important. That's why I'm passionate about them. So let me show you how I do them. I have a two-step method. So I gave you a handout. So the top of the first page, let's see, I'll write over here. The people can't see this, but I'm kind of drawing a tic-tac-toe on the board for the people that are driving. So I'll kind of draw this little tic-tac-toe. It's got 6 spots, 2 halves, 3 rows, each half. So when I do table topics like Parveen's going to do, I have a lot of these little tic-tac-toes all over the back of my page. Because this is how I organize my thoughts. And then I take that and then I give the verbal. So how do I organize my thoughts? So on this side, I want to see if you had a really good intro, a really good middle, and a really awesome ending. You can use your own fancy words, conclusions, introduction, whatever. My mind's simple. Got too many things going on in there. So that's what I put in these boxes. Did she have one? Yes. Was her middle organized? Was there a middle? Or was it 2 really big these? Or 1 really long one of those? Okay, so maybe she didn't have a middle. Did she have a really bang finish? Yes. And maybe I want to make a note here. Maybe I want to put, didn't notice the middle. Maybe that's a thought. But I know that whatever I put in this box means that comment is about the middle. Sometimes I'll just have all 3 check boxes. Okay, well, she's organized. Okay, or maybe I'll put on here that she made me cry. Okay, simple, right? Simple. Then we come over here to this side. This is where we get into the good, better, best. Good, better, best. Otherwise known as the sandwich method, whatever. You call it whatever you want. This is what you did really good. Now, these are things you can do within the first 2 minutes of a speech. You can have this whole thing done the first 2 minutes of speech and enjoy the next 4 minutes without any paperwork. Honestly, you can. Well, except for maybe this part. Maybe that just went so fast right by you didn't even know she had an ending. What did she do good? Well, she took off her earrings and she wore the microphone pretty good. She put it in her back pocket. She can wear a microphone. All right, she can do that good. Good Smedley practice there, right? What could she do better? What can she do better? My dress isn't all that great. I took off my sweater. I got really hot. But what can she do better? Maybe she can elaborate more on the passion I don't know. I'm just making them up. I don't know. Passion. You wanted to hear more about the passion or a bad evaluation I gave or something like that. But maybe that's what you think I can do better. Elaborate on that part, which is really part of the middle, right? But what did she do best? And this is the most important part of the evaluation too. What did she do best? This is when I get all the time, so I'm just going to throw it out there, and all you might disagree. I don't know. If you disagree, that's on you. She's just enthusiastic. If Laurean's talking, we're all happy and feeling good, and chances are we're learning something new. I don't think Parveen, you've seen me give speeches for 3 years. Always learning something out of a Laurean speech. All right, so that's how I organize my thoughts. So my little tic-tac-toe board probably has a few check boxes, circles, a word here, here, and here. They're just things for me to notice. You know, I got that evaluation form getting filled out too, right? But that's how it works. So that's how I organize my thoughts when someone's giving a speech. But now it's time to deliver it. That's the hard part too, huh? Now we have the hand on your worksheet. So if you're remote, on the handout, I put a drawing of somebody's hand. So we just have an outline of somebody's hand. Looks like a turkey, but it's a hand. This is the thumb, in case you're wondering, this is the thumb. So that's how it looks. And I use that and I organize my thoughts onto my hand. So when I come up to deliver, all I'm doing is tapping on my fingers and I'm like, which finger am I on? Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be saying right now. So that's how I work through it without notes. And I can compete without notes because I have my hand. So what's on the thumb? The thumb is first. This is the order I tap my fingers. You can do it any way you want, but I start with the thumb because it's big and it's first. Okay, so the thumb, so any speech has this, an intro, a middle, and an end, right? Evaluation is a speech. So you better have an intro, a middle, and an end, right? So what's number one? It's my intro. What's the last thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna end it. Now what's in the middle? The middle. It's my good, better, best. What did you do good? What can you do better? See what finger that's on. And what can you do? Well, what did you do best? It's really that simple. So let's see how that plays out. Timer hasn't shown me any cards yet, so we got some time to do that. All right. Here's my intro. Right? So we can all agree on these things, right? Okay. So we'll pick on Kelly because we already did. She's so sweet. She looks so cute in her little red shoes and a little red purse. Those little red hair. All right. So we got our hand. So before I get up, once I complete this, what I'm doing is I'm memorizing. I know what these two are supposed to do, right? Forget about what these are supposed to do. So I'm sitting here memorizing. Mike, passion, enthusiastic. Mike, passion, enthusiastic. Mike, passion, enthusiastic. That's all I'm doing until I get up here to deliver my speech. It's Mike, passion, enthusiastic. Mike, passion, enthusiastic. That's it. Even when I'm competing, I'm walking up there and waiting for them to announce my name. Mike, passion, enthusiastic. Mike, passion, enthusiastic. Mike, passion, enthusiastic. That's it. Because I already know to trust myself when I'm speaking. So I already know that if I'm supposed to talk about the mic, I already know what I'm going to say about it, right? I just need to be reminded to talk for about 15 seconds on that topic. So, intro. You come up. You get settled in your space. Timer doesn't start until you make contact with the audience. Settle myself in. Find the speech giver. Boom, there she is. And from this point out, you don't break eye contact unless you're making a point to the whole room. But verbal speeches, first and foremost, are intimate. They're a conversation between you and the speech giver. And so I'm going to give this evaluation to Kelly. I'm not going to talk about Kelly like Kelly's not in the room. I'm going to tell Kelly what I thought about her speech. So I'm going to find her. I'm going to notice her. I'm going to thank her for her speech. I'm going to tell you, Kathy, you hit my heart. I loved your speech. And if people weren't around here, I'd be crying like a baby right now. I want you to know that about your speech. No, I thought you did good. is I like how you wear the microphone. I never thought about doing that with the microphone, but awesome. I'm going to incorporate that into my next speech. So thank you for showing me how to do that. So I thought you did that really, really good. Well, I thought you could do better is I wanted to hear more about your passion, about why you're talking about this topic. I really wanted you to go deeper and deeper. There was something missing in your storytelling about that just left me begging for a lot more. So please do that. And very rarely, folks, I know I picked passion because I was looking for a word off the cuff, but I hardly ever comment on content. Because 9 times out of 10, Toastmasters are not going to give the same speech twice. So I comment on the content. Comment on who they are as a person, because that they'll take to them to every single speech. That you can improve on their ways of being. So passion, I want to know more about that. And then, you're so enthusiastic. You just make me feel good when I hear you speak. I want to hear you speak more and more. You just had me going. And I'm so excited to hear you speak again because of your enthusiasm. You just make me feel awesome for just being around you. But she already knows that. And then we have the end. So in the end, thank you, timer, is you're going to repeat everything you just told her. Now, remember, good with the mic handling. Tell us more about that passion. And above everything else, stay enthusiastic when you give a speech, because I can't wait for your next speech. Done. 3 minutes. Trophy in my hand. And that's how you use the good, better, best method. That's how you give in a good evaluation using nothing but my tic-tac-toe method. And you can win trophies with this method every single time and improve a room by just sharing your heart, by just sharing your heart with your friends. Senora Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, Laurean. I am very happy that I am in this meeting today. And I'm very happy that I'm a member of this club to hear your speech today. Let's, do the people in the room have forms to complete their own love letters for the speaker? Do they have that today?
First, we will have Parveen do her evaluation, and here she is.
Good afternoon now. Thank you, Laurean, for doing your speech today. I think it is a great topic. I personally believe that your passion is your number one. It's not your—
Parveen, hold the mic closer. We can't hear you.
Thank you. Your passion for educating all of us. It's a great topic. I know that evaluation season is here, and a lot of times people don't realize that the evaluation is actually a speech. And so introduction, great job. You set it up, you told us why you wanted to do it, and you told us about how the fact that you studied it and the background, and then you went directly into doing your resources. What I could do better, and I know I have this problem as well, is the hand gestures. Sometimes they get to be a little distracting, and you use them well, but sometimes when you get carried away, they just become a lot. I know the mic is good, but sometimes having a mic that is handheld keeps the gestures down. And I think if you're going to use a handheld, the lavalier, then you need to practice more with your gestures. Also resources, you mentioned resources, and it would have been nice for us maybe to get a handout of the resources that you use on YouTube. I know you did a lot of great research, and I think everyone here would benefit from those resources, whether you did podcasts or the YouTube video, Andy Busamani, that one. And so I know there's some good resources that you already have in the back of your head. It would have been nice to have a resource page maybe at the bottom of this, and that would have been added. That would have made the speech a little bit better. You had great eye contact with everyone in the room. I'm going to disagree with you and content for one reason. I've always been taught when you're doing an evaluation in person, you're doing it actually for the education of the room, not just for the one person. So that's one thing that I am going to disagree with you in the— No, you were saying you're talking to Kelly, but there's different ways to do it and different ways to do evaluation, so we can do that best. You always give a very educational— I learn every single time you do a speech. And I truly believe your calling is to do workshops. You are up here with the whiteboard. I went to a speech coach and my speech coach told me, even if you don't plan on using a whiteboard, if you have a whiteboard, use it. Even if you just write down 2 things, because that elevates your speech greatly. Great topic, great audience participation and interaction. And as always, great speech. Thank you very much for doing it today. We're going to do our round robin, and I'm going to start it off with Kelly.
I thought it was a great speech. I am going to reiterate what Parveen said, is that I was always under the impression that you're supposed to educate the room. While you're talking directly to me, you're educating the room. So otherwise they feel left out. But I thought you did a great job. Everything you said, your enthusiasm is off the charts. And I do always learn something. So fantastic job.
Hi, I thought you did extremely well job too, and you do have the passion, and it shows, and I love the visuals really made it, and then you're just love enthusiastic was so important to get across. Thank you. Great hearing it.
I love the versatility in your speech. That was amazing, especially how you matched up your diagrams and compared that to the hand method. I certainly learned this technique and I intend to put it into play. Thank you for sharing that with me.
I missed you in the introduction. I didn't know where we were going, but I see that you contradicted yourself because you said verbal evaluation is for the benefit of the audience. So you told us what it is. And then, but I like that. Keep an eye on the person. I love the enthusiasm. I see a little bit of me in you, and I am going to put this into practice. I loved it.
We're going to shift to online briefly. Kathy, do you want to start by giving us your 30-second?
Sure. So from an online perspective, because the camera is not straight ahead, I could not see Laurean's face, nor could I see what she's writing on the board. So that's kind of the mechanical side. Regarding your speech, Laurean, your passion always shows through. However, on the what could be better side is that when you move so much, your voice gets very high. Also, a lot of times your sentences are ending on a high pitch, and that creates something that I learned that we're not supposed to do, as well as you started to sound very breathy. You also referenced the online handout on the website, and I thought I heard you say 2 pages and I could only find 1, and I couldn't follow you just because I couldn't see what you were writing on the board.
Okay. Danelli, can you hear us? Do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, I can hear you. I think Laurean did a fantastic job. I learned a lot through her speech about giving feedback. I had not heard about the best, better that method. I had not heard about it before, and I really liked it. She's very passionate about the topic. I will agree from an online viewer that it was hard to connect with what she was talking about as far as her visuals, because I couldn't see it, but I'm assuming it's because of the room. That is not the regular room. So thank you, Laurean. It was great.
Thank you. Jean-Paul?
Yes, I think the enthusiasm and taking the audience into account was excellent. Obviously, very appropriate for the audience, well organized. In terms of better, I suggest try to limit the off the cuff, or maybe a little bit of letting go in terms of expressions. I think 1 or 2 expressions maybe are a little bit out of the seriousness of the topic, but all in all, a very beneficial, well-structured, memorable speech.
Okay, thank you. Nick?
I thought you did a very good job when it came to the visual aids for those members of the audience who could see it. Where you could get better with those visual aids if you could incorporate it not in a PowerPoint type thing where everyone could actually see those visual aids as you're progressing through each step by step by step. But I think the best part of it all is we saw a complete process wrapped up into a very concise speech, and that is my 30 seconds.
Jeanette has joined us.
I caught the very end. I like your enthusiasm, and I 100% agree with you. Speak from the heart when you give an evaluation, because the other team member, what have you, will really feel the power of the evaluation. I caught towards the end, but you do have a powerful voice, and continue to use that.
James.
I very much liked your animated style all over the stage. You really utilized your space rather than sticking in one area. Things you could have done better. I feel like since you had this worksheet, you could have had one that was already filled out. So that way the people in the camera could have seen, you could have been like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. So that way they can see that. Also, I didn't particularly like the references to the amount of time you had left, because it kind of showed being unprepared a little bit. Although you were prepared, it kind of gives off the idea of, oh, I wasn't accounting for this much time, so I need to improvise rather than coming off as prepared. But excellent. I really learned a lot with this hand method I'm going to be using in the future.
Mike, to you for your 30-second.
One of the things we all need to be careful of, especially those of us who's been doing it a while, is getting into the, we'll call it the emotional, there's vocal variety, there's emotional variety. And it's great to have emotional variety, but remember, it needs to be 60% in the middle, 20% high and 20% low. If you skew it too much high, overpowering emotional variety, it gives us this awkwardness, as sort of a over the top that diminishes your message. And back to you, Jean-Paul.
Thank you, everybody, for giving that feedback. I think we had although I'm not the general evaluator, it's great to get the feedback from everybody. This is part of the benefit of Smedley. Now, we are going to get an opportunity for all of us, or for many of us, to participate in table topics, the impromptu section. Parveen, you are going to lead us through that. Or Mike, you are going to lead us through table topics. Sorry.
That's okay. Parveen can do it.
No, you're the prepared table
She's
topics.
kind of busy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's give you a few of you who have not spoken at this point of time to speak. All right. Those of you who have not spoken, who's a dog person? Raise your hand. Yeah, I know Kelly just left. All right, come on up. Come on up. Michelle. Spotify has announced an audio streaming service, a podcast for your dog. This includes soothing music, dog praise, and other reassuring messages for your dog. What kind of podcast would your dog want to listen to?
Great, thank you. And that is amazing. I just found out that Spotify has a brand new podcast for my dog. I have a chocolate lab, and that chocolate lab loves to hear praises. Good girl. And I think I would just had that running podcast go for about 8 hours. You know, an 8-hour-long podcast. Good praises, good girl. Mom gonna be home in 30 minutes, start watching. And just fun things like that, because she just loves to go towards the front part of the house and look out the window. So if she had this beautiful podcast on just how she could know that I was coming, she would know, oh, mommy's coming. Oh, it's time for me to start looking out that window. Good girl, she'd say. So thank you, Spotify, for having this wonderful podcast for my beautiful doggy, Coco.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to write down your name. Come on up. Angelica. Guinness, the company in the World Record Division, has announced that a South African restaurant is acknowledged for the greatest variety of milkshakes available. Milkshakes with things in them like Nutella, Oreos, a vegan milkshake, a fat-free milkshake, maybe even an alcoholic milkshake. What would be in your ideal milkshake?
Good afternoon, members and guests. My ideal milkshake will have hot chili peppers. I love to put hot sauce in everything. Everything that I can put on hot sauce will have it. And that will be the hottest chili pepper along with nice papaya. It will be almond or coconut milk. And it will have the mild, medium, and let's see if your tongue won't fall out when you taste it. But my favorite milkshake will have you dancing, happy, or needing a fan to cool off, especially here in Florida. You'll be jumping to the beach. But yes, hot chili peppers will be one of my milkshake ingredients. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Deanna Lee, are you game? Of course you are.
I am.
Japanese fashion billionaire, his name is Yushaku Mizawa, has pulled out of a documentary search where he was going to select a single female companion to go with him on a date for a trip around the moon on a SpaceX spacecraft. But apparently somebody is going to be disappointed because that trip is not going to happen. Name a time when you had to cancel a trip that you really wanted to go on.
That was actually recently. I had to cancel a trip that I really wanted to go on. I had tickets to go to New York City with my husband, and we were going to go see Hamilton on Broadway. But I learned throughout the years that sometimes you have to say no to some things in order to be able to say yes to bigger, better things. So at that moment, I knew that I needed to say no to that trip because I had not been feeling too well health-wise. And I knew getting in a plane and traveling and planning and everything just usually takes a toll on you energy-wise. So I knew that wasn't the best thing. So that was the time recently. It was in the fall of last year that I had to cancel plans for a trip that I really wanted to go on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Fist bump. It must be your turn. There seems to be a couple of recurring themes with these questions today. I apologize for that, or maybe this is a good thing. An Italian restaurant in Australia has made a 103-meter pizza to raise funds for firefighters battling the country's brush fires. Tell us about your perfect slice of pizza.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Pizza. For a food master, which I am known at my club, I'd have to say sausage, with maybe a few pieces of pepperoni. And I'd have to have some hot chili peppers in there to give it some spice. Now, might have to have a fan. I don't drink alcohol, but somebody might need a beer to cool it off and to get some things going. Other than that, I'd have to have a ton of water on the side for the guests because they're going to be surprised. They'll never have had a slice of pizza like the way I would make it. Thank you.
So someone accused me of being some gender discrimination. So you know what that means, Nick? It's your turn.
Mike, I think that would be the last one if we want to keep to the agenda timing.
Saved by the bell. All right. He'll be first next time. Thank you, Jean-Paul.
Okay. So I've had a wonderful time so far. I hope that our general evaluator has the same idea. Can we invite the general evaluator to give her feedback?
Thank you, everybody. I happened to pop in a little bit later than expected, but from what I caught, went very well. And we got the team to do our little video handshake, if you will. So that was wonderful. So people caught on to that. I caught towards the end of Laurean's speech, so I didn't know what she was really going through. But after I learned, she said good, better, best, I figured it all out. So that was awesome. And the table topics, I saw a preview of the questions earlier today. So that went very well. And I like how you articulate your questions very well. And John Paul, I want to thank you for stepping up and being the Toastmaster of the day. And you always do a fine job online. I really appreciate it. And I like how we had a couple extra online this afternoon. And I'm glad some people popped in after the long TLI that we all went through earlier. Sure, I really appreciate that attendance in coming in after another meeting. So my perspective, I think it went great, but do we have a timers report for our speakers?
Yes, James is a timer.
I meant to do the tag team first before I did mine.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Today's timer report for Laurean's speech. She did 15 minutes and 50 seconds, so a bit over. Parveen's evaluation was 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Did you want me to report on the round robin? Because I put everyone's time down. Okay. It was Michelle. Is that, yeah, for her table topic, it was 1 minute 11 seconds. Angelita's was 56 seconds. Dianelli was 57 seconds. I didn't get your name. Jerry Ann, hers was 1 minute 4 seconds. That's what I've got.
Did we have an Oz counter?
Yes, we did.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to pass my paperwork off when I gave my speech, so I was perfect. Just saying, it's the first time I've ever been perfect in a club meeting, but I was perfect. Just saying. Michael, you had a butt. Michelle, you had an aw and an and. Angelita, you had 2 ahs. Danielle, you had a rainbow, a little bit of everything. Jerry Ann, your favorite, you had a couple of the others, but your favorite was now. You like to say now is to bridge sentences. So I thought that was interesting to point out. That's it.
Thank you.
And me as grammarian, I heard 1 word of the day, so I don't know how many there were before I arrived, but that's great. Couple, and so I apologize for missing whoever said it. And I didn't hear any grammatical errors or whatever the word would be for that. And The only thing I really picked out was your speaking from the passion or speaking from your heart, which a lot of people don't tend to do, but I think that was great when you said that. And again, as I always say, Mike articulates his questions very well in table topics, so I really appreciated that. And Parveen, you did a wonderful job on your efforts. I didn't hear any grammatical errors on you. And I think everybody did a fantastic job. So I think the Order of Smedley is going to rock on for 2020. Thank you. Oh, okay, Kathy, you are a online moderator. Could you give us your version experience?
Sure, yes. I think I mentioned a couple of things because when we originally planned this out, I think we planned for having 4 cameras being set up in the room, and right now we're down to 2. So when table topics was happening, I could only experience the back of whoever was speaking, and so I couldn't see their face. When Laurean or when Kelly was still in the room, I think she had her camera up, and so I could see more of Laurean's from the side. Otherwise, I would have just seen her back. Some people need to learn to hold the mic closer because we couldn't hear them. I will say that James, you and Mike were probably and Nick, the males, I guess, dominated clarity in the voice with the mics. So good job, guys, on that. And then let's see here. I had a couple of other notes. I think James already mentioned the handout, having it sharing on the screen using a computer. That would have been great because we did have a hard time following Laurean's speech a little bit for 2 reasons. We couldn't see her face plus what she was writing on the board. And the handout on the website was just 6 lines, her tic-tac-toe thing and the hand. And I didn't know what she was writing or where. So those were a few comments, but this is a learning experience and this is why we're doing this. And so I really appreciated it, seeing from this viewpoint, so we can close the gap on some of those learning curves. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I will hand it back off to our Toastmaster, John Paul.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like some birds are sitting on the wires between us, because now for the first time I had some distortion here. But everything was perfect. I enjoyed it very much to lead this meeting all the way from Long Island, New York. And the Order of Smedley is hereby awarded to the Order of Smedley Club. And back to the President, Laurean. Laurean?
Hello, hello, hello again. Little me, I feel like I've been talking nonstop. We're going to pass the mic real quick before we get into announcements, which are listed on the agenda, and get your comments before we close out. So we'll go ahead and pass the microphone again. Another opportunity to get intimate with the microphone. Try again. And I guess we see Kathy. The room can see you and Jean-Paul really, really well, Kathy. So just give nods if you can hear them. Well, if they get better, improve with their comments with the mic handling.
Thank you for turning around this way, Lori. That was about the first time I saw your face during the whole thing. There, yeah! Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and this is my first virtual Zoom, and I was so excited, and I still am. This is just awesome, and I definitely enjoyed being here and being part of it.
Hi, once again, my name is Jerry Ann Norton, and this was very different. I had something else to do, but I couldn't tear myself away. I have never seen a Toastmasters virtual meeting, but embracing technology, I can understand and I can see where this might be going. Maybe other clubs might adopt this. I will certainly go back and give my feedback to my club.
Angelita Ortiz. John Paul, I live in Long Island for 15 years or so. So it's nice to hear that you're there. I've been looking for virtual club. I've been looking to join a club. So this might be something that I might want to do because again, I can do it from anywhere. And practice. I need to get with technology and this will really, really help me. And I just want to know if I'm working the mic the right way. Thank you.
Portable virtual meeting is what you really have here. And it's very interesting.
Mike or Nick, we can't hear you.
Portable virtual meeting is what you have here. And I think it's interesting because sometimes, or most of the time you see this, it's usually because the meetings, the room is already pre-established for basically, as they call it, VTC, virtual telecommunication. This is a little different because you're having to put all this together and you have the portable technology to take with you wherever you want to set it as a basis. I think you got a very good foundation to further improve that process, and more good things going to happen as a result of it.
I really enjoyed this meeting. I like seeing clubs that are adapting to technologies. So this is the way of the future. And when we're all in 2050, this is probably going to be what all Toastmasters clubs are like anyway. So thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, everybody, for your positive and.
Laurean, will you get Diane, our other online guest?
Oh, yeah, Daniele, sorry. Would you like to unmute yourself and give us your guest comments?
Thank you. I really enjoy being part of this online meeting, and I will definitely consider this club as my next one. I was wondering about joining a second one, so thank you.
You're welcome. And you lead us right into, Daniele, how we position ourselves. We don't position ourselves as your home club. We position ourselves as your next level club. This is where you get to graduate to. Keep your home club. You need to keep grooming new members in Toastmasters, and they need to see how you're really, really improving in other areas of your life because of the work you're doing in both. They complement each other. Smedley complements home clubs. I belong to two. I'm in Star Toastmasters, where I get to do my everyday club stuff. But here you can see is where I really roll up my sleeves and really dig deep into particular speeches that I'm working on. Bless you. That's how Smedley is positioned. We're positioned as an add-on club. And we really, it was in our original charter, we took it out that you had to have a home club to join this one, and we took that out. But we do highly encourage it. Our next club meeting is February 22nd. That will be a normal meeting. I believe it is virtual only, right? Because it is conflicting with Sarasota TLI. So that will be 100% virtual, no in-room experience. It'll be our second virtual only meeting, which means everybody is meeting virtually. I think last time I was Toastmaster, that one. Okay. The March 14th is our club contest. We are soliciting for judges, and we would desire our judges to be virtual. You can see how you can do that. There's no reason to drive to Trinity, Odessa to support the Smedley Club contest. You can come from home and judge. And you'll use your smartphones to snap a picture of the bottom of your ballot to the chief judge, which is Jeanette. Jeanette, Parveen, and I are exempt for competing this year, so we're putting on our club contest because we're the contest chairs, so we can't. I mean, the conference chairs, so we can't compete. So we're doing the club. Okay, March 28th. Is another important date for the Order of Smedley. I'm actually really, really excited about this date. Before our meeting, we're having our area council. So all the area presidents will be having a council meeting before the Order of Smedley, and then we'll be staying for what we're calling our presidential open house.
That meeting, we're inviting all district club presidents to join as online guests, just like Danielle is doing as a guest. And the theme of the day is how presidential club president's life is. So it will be a nice little roast on our roles in Toastmasters as club presidents. Be a lot of fun. And the reason we're doing that is we're looking for more advocates to introduce their clubs to the Order of Smedley as an add-on for members that think they're looking for something a little bit more to add on. So those are the next dates. February 22nd, March 14th is a club contest. March 28th is our presidential open house. And with that, I officially adjourn our meeting. Thank you, online. Bye, Kathy. Bye, Jean-Paul.
Bye, everybody. It was good meeting you virtually.
Oh, let's do our picture. So let's join up here at the board and take a real quick picture with our online folks before we all disperse. What phone can we use? I guess we can use my phone.
And I look forward to many of you joining us.
Bye,
everybody.
Leave Zoom. Leave the meeting. All right.
Bye, Diana. Bye, Danelli.
We're still connected. I just had to disconnect that one camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, well, let's not block John Paul and Kathy. Oh, where did John Paul go? Okay.
No, I'm here.
I know, but you're moving as people drop off. The thumbnails move. Is that everybody? All right.
We don't see. Okay.
All right, here we go. We got everybody in here. Okay. Kathy, you're smiling. Jean Paul, you're smiling. Okay, now everybody wave. Online wave. Mike, wave your hand, Mike. Mike, wave your hand. Kathy, give Mike rabbit ears. Give Mike rabbit ears. He's standing in front of your face.
I can't see him.
Oh, okay.
I can only see John Paul and the back of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're taking a picture of what they can see.
Right. But you're in our picture. You're in our meeting. Okay. Thank you. We're done. Bye.
Bye. Good job.
Yes, excellent.